Is the crypto crash finally over? Well, we're seeing some major signals on the charts right now that are giving a lot of positive vibes at the moment. But today, we're going to get into the details. We're going to look at those charts. We're going to look at the news and just kind of discuss what exactly the next move for Bitcoin and crypto should be, how you should handle your investments at this place in time. You do not want to go anywhere. Make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe. But first, we got to roll the intro. All right, everybody, welcome into the Investing Bros live show. As you can see, out here in Tennessee, we found a set that looks identical to my set at home.
Fabulous.
Because we are at home. So here's the deal.
Well, not me.
Smay's not at home. I'm at home. As some of you would know, we told you guys it was going to be a different show because we were going to be in Tennessee. Okay, we have our yearly, this first annual, I guess at this point, our first annual business retreat to plan out the entire year. We were having a great time doing it. The problem is a storm came through the South, leaving a lot more snow than the South is used to, and our Airbnb up in Tennessee, up in Sierreville, is where we were going to be, issued a state of emergency. So we, last second on Friday, we're shuffling what to do. And I'm at home shooting this right now, but we were gracious enough. You guys see the backgrounds of Smay and T-Shroom. Our friends over at Hit Network were generous in allowing us to do all of our planning at their building. They're letting T-Shroom and Smay shoot from there. So shout out to Hit Network. Shout out to you guys, and shout out to Snow. Snow is very fun. My 1-year-old, I mean, he's getting up close to 2 years now, but he is having a blast, loving every second of it. But speaking of loving every second of it, Smay, T-Shroom, how you boys doing? Start with you, Smay. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely in fantastic, Tim. Thank you for asking. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
There we go. T-Shroom, how you doing?
Tim, I'm doing colder than I deserve. I'm doing well. Doing really well. Having a ton of fun. Seeing what the future holds for the Investing Bros is extremely exciting. So I'm more excited and also more cold than I deserve as a Florida boy.
Yeah, so these Florida boys aren't holding up too well in this.
I'm holding up actually fantastic. Speak for yourself.
Well, you're technically from West Virginia, so
I see.
Yeah, it's the Florida and Texas guy. There's another person in the room with you guys, is there not?
There is.
Come say hello.
Crux, go over and say.
Never mind. He says no.
He doesn't want. No, he's shy. Crux. Well, Crux is in the room. Crux, we love you. Are you guys ready to go ahead and jump in and talk crypto content day? We can talk snow and we can talk business planning later. Let's get into the bubbles. Let's go take a look at the charts over here on my screen. Sea of red here in the last 24 hours. Things have been falling, but as I said in the intro, and as the title does suggest, there are things that are looking very similar to former bottom signals. And we're going to take a look at those here in just a couple of minutes, but you will see a very consistent big move to downside with a couple exceptions like WorldCoin, Athena, Uni, Hex. There's a couple that are down more than 10%, but almost everything 7 or 6% seems to be the common theme across the altcoin space today. But you know what I love about days when you see a sea of red? Sometimes those are the greatest opportunities to buy before a sea of green. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump in and take a quick look here at the charts, get into the news. We're going to take a look at a couple of coins today because we have some interesting details coming out from Cardano. We have some interesting details coming out as a whole about the crypto space that should make you very excited. But what are the charts saying at the moment? This is the daily chart here on Bitcoin. And we talked about this a little bit last week. If you go all the way back to November, so we're going back to November 26th, after breaking through 90,000, we wouldn't fall back below until today. And we're going to talk about just the dynamics of what happened today when we went sub $90,000 for what felt like seconds. It was quite an experience watching it happen on the charts. But we have been holding this 90K area for quite some time. And even though you can see right in here, this is a big wick on today's daily candle, we're going to take a look at lower time frames as well to kind of address what happened today and why Bitcoin's down and what the next move should be. But we are still at this point in time, we're back up above 92,000. We still do not have a daily candle close below 90K since mid-November. So this is going to continue to be a big factor. Last week we told you this was the line in the sand because some people are tracking right now a very bearish signal potential in a head and shoulders pattern, a left shoulder right there, a head right here, and then this recent move where we eclipsed 100,000 for a couple of hours back here on the 6th and the 7th. We came back down, forming the right shoulder of a head and shoulders pattern. Well, the bearish potential of this move would take us sub $80,000. You take the length of the head down to this neckline. Let's go right here to around 92 or so. You move this down to a breakout spot, and this would give us a breakout somewhere around $78,000, $77,000 was the bearish potential that we talked about. But here's the thing. If you guys were watching our show last week, we covered the strategy that I am using right now when it comes to my Bitcoin and crypto holdings. If you're talking about my long-term holdings, I'm not selling no matter what happens. But if you're talking about my trading account, right, I have a longer-term swing trading, very low leverage trade open for Bitcoin, in which case I actually put my stop loss right here below 88,900. What's really crazy, this is still an active position. Look at how close. Look at how close our long-term trade came to being liquidated. We went down to 89,000. Well, let's get the exact dot here, right? We came down to 89,000. Yeah, $28. 88,930 is the stop loss right there. So we came very, very close to exiting that trade, but this is why you put stop losses. And sure enough, we've bounced back up. If I were to show you, we'd go down to a low time. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart. We're sitting here. I was entering more trades this morning. I'll tell you guys more about that with the memberships. If you're in our membership, our VIP trading group, you can get access to how I'm trading things, when I'm trading them. I'm giving you signals immediately upon what I'm doing. We talked about this trade earlier this morning, and look at this 15-minute chart. How on the way back up, we quickly dropped. I mean, that's the 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 10-minute. 10-minute really happened very, very fast. 5-minute, all this happened very, very fast. 1 minute. I mean, this is just how crazy fast you had. If you did not buy below 90,000, you had about a grand total. Let's look right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. You had a 5-minute window to buy sub $90,000 earlier this morning. This is absolutely a crazy, crazy wick. But now we get into the fun part. Now we get into the part of the conversation where we talk about the bottom signal. Is this the bottom of the crash? Is the crypto crash over? Is the Bitcoin crash over? Should you be buying for the long-term hold? Well, I'm going to start by saying you want to start seeing some more positive signals coming in here, but we got to start with what's happening on these lower time frames where we are starting to see some buy signals. This is the 30-minute chart, right? We're getting very low here. The 30-minute chart is going to be irrelevant within the next 24 hours, right? So you don't want to necessarily use this chart for long-term analysis, but what you should see is we are getting some major buy signals even here on the 30-minute chart, our green reversal, our bullish momentum, our positive money flow. We should see some more positivity coming over the rest of the day. When it comes to the 1-hour chart, we just got a MACD crossed bullish side this morning or earlier today. Actually, reality, this just happened within the last 2 hours. So it wasn't even this morning. It was this afternoon. We got a buy signal over here. Green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow, right? The buys are starting to add up where we are kind of sitting in a zone of saying, all right, this would be a major, major win for Bitcoin. Is we are probably a candle or two away from confirming a buy signal on the 4-hour chart. We got the green reversals. We've got the bullish divergence. Bullish divergence, one of the greatest indicators out there for giving us reversals. That's a great sign. We have the positive momentum, and we're working right now while we have positive money flow. You always want to wait for candles to close to confirm this, but that is very dangerously close to saying we have a 4-hour buy signal as well. 4-hour buy signal, of course, talking about the next couple of days. It gives you some wiggle room to then decide what happens next. But the thing that I'm most excited about, the thing I'm looking at right now saying this looks like a buy signal if I've seen one. We told you guys last week, do not be surprised. The reason we put our stop loss down well below 90,000 is because fake outs can happen. You can lose a long-term level of support, convincing the retail that everything is over, only for it to shoot right back up. And if you take a look at the volume that came in on this bottom candle here at the 1 hour chart, this is a consistent volume histogram with the other reversal histograms we've seen more recently. It seems like every time we see a strong reversal or a strong downward movement, we get volume spike to this area. So that's one thing I'm loving right here. This communicated very strongly on the 1 hour chart, on the 30-minute chart, on the 4 hour chart. We're seeing high volume come in, confirming that after this downward trend, we saw a reversal in selling. The strength was in selling. It transferred into buying. That's a very, very positive sign, along with all the other bullish indicators. But again, the biggest one of them all, classic composite man manipulation. Classic, look this way so we can send you the other. Why? Because when I told you guys this strong level of 90,000 was going to hold up, it's not like I had some secret code that no one else had. This was a well-known detail out there that 90,000, we had not been below 90,000 since early November. They knew this. They absolutely knew this. And they absolutely knew that people who are possibly newer to trading, who trade simply on breakouts, who don't wait for confirmation, who don't wait to see if fake outs happen, they knew that they, after a lot of consolidation close to 90,000, if they just momentarily dropped it below that strong support level of 90,000, they could cause thousands, if not millions, of retail investors to capitulate and sell their Bitcoin. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened. Like I said earlier, if you wanted to buy sub $90,000 this morning, you only had a 5-minute window. Probably less than a 5-minute window. We just had 5 candles that were below. You had a 5-minute window to buy below. This is a classic composite man. Break the support, convince everyone we're going a lot deeper, have everyone focused on the bearish signals, only to then bounce right back up. This is a very positive sign, but let's make sure we're clarifying here. What are we looking for confirmation? Because again, I kind of started this whole thing off by saying, does this mean, everything I just showed you, does this mean you should be buying right now? Well, if you're asking me about spot buying, I would say yes. I think people should be buying spot right now if you have dry powder left. If you're looking for a trade, a longer-term trade, now I'm in a longer-term trade that, again, it almost tested my stop loss. It didn't quite hit it, so I'm still in right now. But what I'm watching for is, do we get the confirmation of that 4-day or 4-hour buy signal? If we do, we're looking at targets at least shooting us back up towards $98,000. Eclipsing and breaking this smart trail, this 4-hour smart trail, to me is going to be a very definitive sign that the bulls are back. They're in control. They're not just getting a dead cat bounce back up to the 4-hour smart trail from Luxalgo. They're actually gaining momentum and moving to the upside. Technically speaking, this is going to be your level. Again, 4-hour smart trail on 98,000, big level. Technically, we need to get back up above 103. And you could be a little lower than that. We're seeing a little bit of a channel kind of developing here for Bitcoin. We're going to make this green as our support channel. You can see since back here, the low on December 10th, we've been setting these lower lows consistently. Well, even though it's not parallel, we're going to go ahead and say it's close enough to parallel to call this a channel. Let's make this red for resistance. We also now have 2 downward touches in a very close to parallel channel. This is a bullish formation that if we can break above this red line, again, it'd be nice to set a higher high again, get above 103. But if we can just break above this, let's put it in the $100,000 range and get volume confirming the bulls are back in control. Right? I don't want to see Bitcoin just bounce up here and hit this red line and say, oh, that's it. We're on the red line. We're good. I don't even want to see it bounce and get maybe a wick above and say, oh, we're good. Right? What I'm looking for, in the same way, you want confirmation. If anyone sold this morning sub 90K because they did not get confirmation, don't fall for the same problem. What we are looking for here is a break above, multiple candles to close above, and then as we start to accelerate to the upside, we want to see exceeding candles come in, matching the size of the bullish candles, matching the buying signals, confirming we just broke significant resistance. The bears are no longer in control. But that, if you're sitting here telling us, I want to buy when it's safe, Tim, I want to buy when I know the bulls are back in control, when we're going to be setting new all-time highs in the next couple of days, technically speaking, you're probably going to have to wait until over 100,000 comes back and the volume comes back as well, confirming the breakthrough resistance. If you're a risk taker, go ahead and take it right now. Go ahead and enter now. Put yourself a stop loss. Match my stop loss right here. Giving you a free stop loss level, 88,900. If you say, Tim, I want to be bullish, but I'm not sure just yet, go ahead and enter your buy. Put your stop loss in so you don't lose too much money, and then you can risk it. Sometimes when you want to make a lot of money investing, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. I'm not telling you you have to do that. I'm telling you if you want to be certain, you got to wait for that break of resistance. But if you want to risk it a little bit, you can go ahead and enter now because a lot of positive signs are developing. But I want to make sure you're aware fake outs and craziness is still on the menu. We're not confirmed Braille yet. We are not confirmed bullish. We are just seeing some historically great signs that the bottom could be in. With that said, though, that's just what we're seeing on the charts. I see a super chat here from Caroline. I'm going to read that in a second. We're about to go to T Shroom and get into some of the news that is carrying a lot of bullishness today. But shout out to Caroline. Said Tima's been holding strong. Victus Capital is investing $2 million in Tima. Super bullish. All right, Tima must be some sort of shill. Caroline, thank you for the money. Please do your research before investing in anything. I got no idea what Tima is. Don't know if this is a bot. Don't know if this is a paid shill. But thank you for the super chat. T-Shroom, I'm going to bring you up here. Let's get into some news here before we get into altcoins. And some of the news is going to deal with the altcoins. But a lot of bullishness on the charts this morning. Is the news matching it? Is the news in the same boat? Is it encouraging or is it discouraging? What you got for me?
Yeah, I've got some bullish news. I've also got some run-of-the-mill FUD that may be going around that you're seeing, and we're going to help dispel it. Before we get into that, we have a message from one of our partners here, Legacy Network. They had this to say just about an hour ago. Thank you, Legacy, for sponsoring and making this program happen. Over the last couple of years, we've turned Legacy into a powerful movement. Together, we've achieved incredible milestones and created unforgettable memories. This is just the beginning of their journey. They're really excited because they've been able to release their Legacy token and LGCT. Make sure you do your research before making any investments, but this is a really cool project that helps educate new investors to crypto. Jumping into the bearish headlines here, this is from Watcher.guru. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme and that it has no intrinsic value. This is not the first time I've heard this, and it's certainly not the first time you've heard it at home if you are experienced in crypto. Jamie Dimon is an interesting character. And we got another one here, though. It doesn't stop there. Elizabeth Warren, on the same day, pens a letter to Treasury Secretary designate Scott Bessent, pressing hard on his stance towards crypto and anti-money laundering policies. Said your experience has been in making already rich investors even richer, not cutting costs for families. It was revealed that Scott Bessent is actually a pretty significant holder of Bitcoin. He's got about $500,000 worth of it. So these are two very run-of-the-mill headlines when the manipulators that are using the media to manipulate price, they go ahead and they release FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, stories that try to swim around and try to get retail, you and me, not institutional investors, retail investors to say, hey, I'm too scared to hold my Bitcoin. I'm too scared to now hold my Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, Chainlink, XRP, whatever it is, because Jamie Dimon doesn't even like Bitcoin. He says there's no value to it. Or Elizabeth Warren is putting the pressure on a very important piece of the financial puzzle for Donald Trump's crypto team. I've got to get out of this asset class. It's under attack. When in reality, we've seen these before. We've seen these attacks from these exact people. Elizabeth Warren and Jamie Dimon. It's like they're like the dynamic duo when it comes to crypto FUD. And so if I'm you, I'm not paying attention to this at all. If anything, this is kind of a bottoming signal because it's showing that the manipulators are losing steam. So they're giving it all they got. They're bringing out the big gun, so to speak, to try and spook the market. So, and by the way, we had FUD last week that the United States government had been approved by the DOJ to sell their Bitcoin. What happened to that? It's just FUD. It's just FUD, and there's a lot of reasons to be bullish. But Tim, before we get into the bullish articles, I want to get your reaction to these.
It's not even good FUD. This is like a headline saying that the National Association of Vegans says that eating cheeseburgers is bad for you. Well, no duh, you're going to say that. Like this is, these are two individuals who have never once said a positive thing about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency. So for them to come out and continue to say it's bad for it, well, that's been their whole shtick about crypto over the last couple of years as much as we know it. Jamie Dimon, I think more of a manipulative side. Like, I guess you got to give Elizabeth Warren one thing. I would be very surprised to find out Elizabeth Warren is holding Bitcoin, right? I think she's backing up her words with her money, and she doesn't touch it. She doesn't own it, whatever. I have a sneaky suspicion Jamie Dimon owns some Bitcoin. I think his is a classic composite man FUD. Let me tell you not to buy so I can buy. And then he gets really quiet near tops because he doesn't want to get bullish necessarily. But yeah, these mean nothing. These mean nothing. This is the once annual. I think Jamie Dimon at least once a year says that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Elizabeth Warren has not been in the news about Bitcoin recently, but every time she is in the news, it's she's trying to get rid of it. Neither one of them are going to be successful. Neither one of them are going to get what they want. This is something to just flick off your shoulder like a gnat. It means absolutely nothing.
Yep. And we could go on and on about how sure we are of this, but this is why you're tuned into the Investing Bros. We're helping to dispel the FUD because there is a bullish tomorrow. Let's get to that bullish news here. Michael Saylor is kicking off the FUD. He said that he is buying another 2,530 Bitcoin worth $243 million. That is how much MicroStrategy has bought within the last 24 hours. Another big pickup for MicroStrategy there. We also have this headline here. This is from the Investing Bros. This is a remember. FTX is to start distributing $16 billion to creditors 60 days after the recorded date of January 3rd. This is according to Bloomberg. So March 4th, if you run 60 days plus January 3rd, it is March 4th is when FTX is going to start. Now, is it all going to happen at one time? I don't think so. It's going to more than likely come out in tranches. But regardless, $16 billion worth of value is going to be returned to folks who we already know were bullish on crypto at one point. Now, of course, all of that $16 billion is not going to go straight back into Solana and XRP and Bitcoin, but some of it will. And 16 billion is a lot. That is a lot. So it's really, really bullish, and people are forgetting about that. There are many other bullish. What's that?
Well, I was going to say, put that in perspective, right? Last week, the negative news, that was news we should take seriously, but we wondered if it was manipulation, was that the American government, the DOJ, had got permission to sell $6.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Everyone was freaking out. Because if they actually did sell it all, that would have very negative pressure on the price of Bitcoin. There's an article we're going to read here in a little bit that says even if they sell that, it might not be a bad thing. So stay tuned on that. We're going to address that little issue. But that's the perspective here. We were freaking out about Germany's 3 point whatever billion. That was like a negative 20-something percent, 25% dip in Bitcoin's price because of I think it was 3.4, $3.2 billion of Bitcoin sold back then. Yeah. Then we're freaking out about America's, the DOJ's $6.5 billion that they might be selling just to kind of spite Donald Trump and his presidency that starts here in literally a week from today. And then we're now talking about $16 billion. And T-Shroom said this, and I want to make sure it's clear, we are not expecting all $16 billion to flow back into crypto immediately. Some people are so hurt from what happened with FTX. They do feel like crypto is a scam. You can't change what happened to them. It was horrendous. They're going to take their money and they're going to run. But if even half, I think more than half will come back into crypto. Let's be clear here. But even if only half buys it up, we're talking about over $8 billion. If we're bearish about the selling of $6 billion, how bullish should we be about the return of over $8 billion back into the crypto space? And it's not all going to go to Bitcoin. This is actually a very good story for Bitcoin holders, but more particularly, I think it's going to be altcoin holders. Because when I look at this, let's pretend I was an FTX holder who lost my money, right? We're talking about going back pretty much to the bottom of the bear market. Well, Bitcoin has gone exceedingly way higher than it was back in 2021, right? We broke all-time high a long time ago. Almost every other altcoin that was around back then, I'm talking about the Ethereums, the Cardanos, the AVAXs, Solanas, even though some of these coins had good runs, they have not hit new all-time highs yet. So I'm sitting here with my fresh $8 billion. Of course, I'm not one person. Let's pretend I am. I'm looking at altcoins right now and saying, listen, I love Bitcoin. I like it, but it's time to go invest in altcoins. You're wondering where the next big sprint in altcoin season could come from? I think this story, this article, this detail I'm putting up the bare minimum $8 billion. It's probably higher. Is going to be flowing into altcoins. That's going to be a big spark to altcoin season.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's on top of the big catalyst that's coming up that I've been reminding you all about here at Investing Bros, which is that January 20th date of Donald Trump being inaugurated. Now, I'm going to give him some grace. I do not expect him to mention Bitcoin, mention crypto, even in the first 2 days, right? But I think that there could be the chance that even in those first 2 days, there is a pen stroke that puts the Bitcoin that the U.S. government has in its custody into a Bitcoin reserve, making good on the promise that Donald Trump has made to all of those who hold Bitcoin around the world, and to the folks who are in the room at the 2024 Bitcoin convention there in Nashville. So I do have one more bullish chart to show you. If you're not convinced yet, that Bitcoin is actually going higher and that what we're seeing today is FUD, just take a look at this. This blue line, this purple line here, this purple line is the amount of Bitcoin that is on exchange. And thank you so much to Crux, who's sitting right next to me. He brought this to my attention earlier today. You'll notice that this chart has gone all the way to the bottom, and it is good. Usually you don't want a chart to go down and to the right. You want it to go up and to the right. Well, that's what the white line is doing, and that's the price of Bitcoin, right? But that purple line is the amount of Bitcoin on exchange. Now, if you're newer to crypto, newer to investing, you might be hearing that and saying, oh, wait, is that bad? Shouldn't Bitcoin be on exchange? No. An on-chain analysis, when the tools show us that there's less Bitcoin on exchange, that signals to investors that when the Bitcoin has been taken off exchange, that the intent is limited to sell it. And the less that there is on exchange, the less intent that there is to sell it. In addition, there's also less supply in exchange, meaning that when there is a big next bullish catalyst to come, that the price of Bitcoin will go higher. So it's very exciting to see. And this is just, it's a great time. It's a tough time for newer folks who are investing. For somebody like me who's watched these cycles happen again and again and again, it's painful. It's painful to see the newer folks who are going to get flushed out because they read these, they trust elected officials like Elizabeth Warren, right? They look up to influencers in the financial industry like Jamie Dimon, and they don't realize that these folks do not actually have their best financial interest at mind. They're up there playing 4D chess to try to enrich, honestly, Wall Street interests, Washington interests. That's what their end game is to try to earn favor with the rich. And we're down here saying, should we hold on to these assets or not? And these guys are saying not to. What we're trying to do here on Investing Bros is show you, based on the data, based on what has happened in history, when these two individuals, and there's many more of them, they're not the only bears in the market, when they come out and run their mouth, you have to take it with a grain of salt and go see, wait, is a bunch of Bitcoin coming onto exchange? Is there a lot of intent being signaled to the market that people are going to sell Bitcoin? No. Is the price of Bitcoin going down? Yes. But is that something that the market can tolerate? Is that something that should worry you? Those are more complicated. And to me, I just bought more MicroStrategies today. I bought more exposure to Bitcoin. So that's the way that I'm interpreting the news. And I'm excited to see what other coins could be good for picking up right now.
And before we move on from this, I mentioned earlier, I want to make sure we connect the dots here for anyone listening. Remember earlier I said the United States government wanting to potentially sell $6.5 billion. Again, not that they're going to do it, but let's pretend they're going to do it. Guess who's right now looking and saying we need to acquire more Bitcoin? Exchanges at an all-time low of holding Bitcoin. That will seriously diminish. In fact, they almost might look at this as a golden opportunity, saying, oh, crap. We have no more Bitcoin left to sell. How are we, with all this new demand that is coming in and will be coming in, what are we going to actually sell them? Of course, when demand comes in and the supply is low, simple economics, price goes up. But at some point, you also want the supply to go up so that we can keep circulating and keep attracting and getting people excited. This is why even that really bad news about the DOJ potentially selling Bitcoin, they probably, if they're going to sell it, already have buyers lined up to get it. I'm looking at you, Coinbase. I'm looking at you, Binance. I'm looking at you, Kraken, Uphold. I'm looking at exchanges in general who need to hold crypto on their exchange for when the massive retail demand comes. Because believe it or not, some of you might disagree with me, but when you look at Google Analytics, when you look at trends, when you look at different things, yeah, we had that spike a couple of months ago when Coinbase kind of rose up the App Store list. But I really think that's old investors coming back. The new investors into crypto, and they're coming. They are coming. Not a single bull market has stopped out without massive amount of brand new baby investors, meaning they've never invested in crypto before. That has not happened yet. But for that to happen, Coinbase, Binance, Uphold, Kraken, all those exchanges, they have to have Bitcoin on exchange. This is phenomenal news. This is very positive. That's what you need to be keeping in mind when you're thinking about juggling the FUD and the FOMO in the air right now. But let's transition here. Before we do, we're going to get into altcoin talk. We had an article here kind of tying some loose ends with some recent news when it comes to Cardano and Ripple. But first, we have a word from a sponsor, T-Shroom. Who's our sponsor for today's show?
Absolutely. Well, our sponsor for today's show is actually LuxAlgo. So LuxAlgo is going to be your go-to indicator when it comes to trading. So check out the link in the description below. Thank you so much for LuxAlgo for supporting the channel. And you also get a pretty significant discount right now that they're running. So go ahead and check out the link down in the description below. You also get access when you sign up for LuxAlgo to our VIP trading community where you can learn how to trade these crazy crypto assets that are volatile enough to make a decent amount of income just from day trading. So check it all out down in the link below for LuxAlgo and get that indicator that's going to help you trade no matter what skill set and what level of experience you have.
There we go. Well, let's get into the news here. Cardano and Ripple. Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We actually even put out a dedicated video about it. What this new relationship means for both Cardano and XRP. And the news that we're about to talk about should have been obvious, but we want to make sure we tie the loose ends here. What does a Cardano and Ripple relationship mean for potential other relationships that they were developing? For that, T-Shroom, what's going on with Cardano? What announcement did they just make that people need to know about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to jump over to our friends over at CryptoRS. They tweeted out here, said Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson confirmed talks with Ripple to integrate RLUSD to the Cardano blockchain. The integration aims to boost Cardano's DeFi capabilities and add new users and strengthen its stablecoin ecosystem. So this is significant for a couple of reasons. First of all, XRP, Cardano, historically have kind of been seen as competitors when it comes to community coins. Now, they're going to remain competitors, but this does signal that stronger together. And Cardano and XRP are kind of looking across, the battlefield here that is crypto and saying, let's work together. The other thing to note here is the USDC is still not a stablecoin that is supported within the Cardano ecosystem. So for Cardano to integrate RLUSD is a little bit of a further confirmation that Cardano, led by Charles Hoskinson, does not plan on integrating USDC. For those of you who don't know what that means and doesn't understand the implications of that, that's okay. You don't need to know about that, and it's totally fine. Just buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, and potentially look into XRP and Cardano as well after this exciting partnership that's been announced and clarified here. So, Tim, what do you think about this new kind of integration for RLUSD and Cardano?
It's great. Again, I made a video. You guys can go back and watch some of my thoughts. I talked about price predictions for both coins in the short and long term, where to be buying and looking for spaces. If you watch the video, great things happened. In fact, I don't think, I gave a lower XRP price prediction. We're going to talk about that here in a second. We'll do both Cardano and XRP TA. You would have gotten a great buy spot on Cardano if you watched that video. You still can get a great spot on Cardano. XRP, I gave you two different spots. One of them triggered. The second one did not because XRP is crazy bullish. This, though, is just so great because in the world of crypto, I hate the tribalism. Put a 1 in chat if you guys hate crypto tribalism as much as I do. This concept of if my coin is going to succeed, your coin has to die. And it causes communities to just go after each other and say, mine rocks, yours sucks, and go each other's throat. It's not good for crypto. In fact, we talked about two big enemies in the crypto space who are rearing their heads again today, Jamie Dimon and Elizabeth Warren. Those are the people that everyone in crypto should be coming together to say, hey, we need to dispel their FUD. We need to go after them. We need to make sure people are aware that when these people speak, they are lying and they're uneducated about what the future of crypto looks like. But the reality is, a lot of times in crypto tribalism, some brand new person, they've been investing stocks for a while, but they see these cryptos, they think they're part of the future. They come into some community and all they see is a bunch of these crypto investors just going at each other's throats. You tell me if that's an environment that you feel enjoyable and you're like, I want to be involved in this. I want to be a part. That's absolutely terrible. No, I love seeing XRP and Cardano, projects that historically have really disliked each other, really gone after each other, saying, you know what, it's time to come together. Two is better than one. Us working together is better for the future of the world and blockchain technology than us staying separate. It's bullish for both of them. I love it. Before we get into those charts, 2 super chats. One of them thinks is Shill, Bone and Bob, POW on ICP. I got no idea. Thank you for the super chat, GD. Fab5 said, what up, bros? Watching from 10,000 feet on a flight. Paying for the in-flight Wi-Fi there. That's very cool. Very cool. Hey, we got a bro up there in the sky. Be safe up there. All right, yeah, let's get into it. A lot of people putting ones in chat, but let's get in here and take a look at these coins and what is happening. I mentioned in that video, we talked about Cardano coming back down here, sub 90. We talked about 80. I think we said 89 cents. So went a little bit lower than what we kind of said there, but that is exactly where we came not that long ago, a couple days ago. And here, back on the 9th, and back here over the last couple of hours here. We're on the 4-hour chart right here. Great spot there for Cardano. What's happening, though, at the moment, very similar to what we see with Bitcoin. The number one thing that I would be looking at, especially when you're looking for bottom positions, is things like volume to kind of come in. You're going to see it a little more clearly if we were to go, say, to a smaller time frame. Like, let's go 30. Yeah, 30. All this is kind of good. Look at what we have in here after continual. This is the 30-minute chart. Continual downward price action all the way from back here when we had a bearish divergence in play. This would be January 11th. This is Saturday. We had been a very consistent 30-minute chart downward trajectory, but then you get this massive wick down here. You get this high buying volume confirming that the dynamics have switched. Cardano traders are no longer selling off. They are now buying in, and that's a very, very positive sign. Along with that, and the things that keep us bullish here, just like Bitcoin, you take a look at the oscillators. I love oscillator trading. It's one of my favorite ways to know when to buy, when to sell. Like I got to use support and resistance zones as my areas of where do I take profit, where do I put my stop losses. But if you're just saying, when should I be buying, when should I be selling, oscillators to me is the superpower here. I'm not going to show you the lower time frames, so you get buy signals across the entire space. 1-hour chart here on Luxalgo, green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow. That's a confirmed buy signal already. On the 4-hour chart, we had a little more work to do here. Again, this is why, even though I'm bullish on all of these things, I love waiting for confirmation before I ape into things. We got the green reversal. We got the oscillator starting to move sideways, setting higher lows, despite the fact that the price set lower lows, right? So this is all positive here. This is all stuff that could send us back to the upside, but without the confirmation of the green dot coming on the oscillator, without the money flow confirming that we're going to the upside, I can't confidently call this a buy signal. And you want to wait for confirmation. The lower time frames are saying buy, but as we start to move into the middle ones, the 4-hour, it's not necessarily as bullish here. But once it does trigger, some things to keep an eye on. Bare minimum, we're talking about resistance back up at $1. But I think what's going to be more interesting is that we start to make some bullish moves here. Historically, it's going to go a lot higher than this. But keep an eye on the 4-hour resistance cloud back up here, starting at 116 and it being as high as 130. I think that's going to be a very interesting target once we get this pump officially going. Some people are calling it the Trump pump when Trump gets inaugurated. People think that's going to be the key that unlocks the next big move. I think there should be a combination of a lot of things that unlock that big move. But that's the area that I would look for that you could see Cardano getting to very, very fast. One of the reasons why I'm not showing you guys a lot of longer time frames today is because the longer time frames aren't very clear. If you were to go out to the daily chart, while we're sitting in kind of mixed signals currently, we had major buy signals already flash on the daily, on the 2 daily, on the 3 daily. We had a lot of positivity kind of already flashing on these longer time frames. So they're ready to go, right? I'm not saying that prices of cryptos can't drop and go lower here, but we have been ready on the weekly, on the 3 daily, on the 2 daily, on the daily chart. We have been waiting for months now for a pop-off to happen. What we're waiting for is for all these lower time frames to really come in, really do their thing, really get going, and then we'll make moves to the upside. With that being said, though, something to keep an eye on, obviously, I already told you the red waves coming back up and setting new cycle highs around 130, going higher. That's going to be what we're watching for here very soon. What I'm kind of even paying attention to, even though it's a longer time frame thing, you're also seeing all this consolidation. Backing up and looking at these charts is very important. No matter how you want to draw support resistance lines, this is a downward but mostly sideways consolidation after a massive explosion from back in November. This is a bull flag or a bull pennant. When it starts to go, when it starts to explode to the upside, yes, there will be some resistance at the former cycle high, but after that, we blow up. Targets right now for Cardano over the next couple of months, 337. I would not be surprised in the least to see Cardano somewhere close to new all-time highs sometime possibly as early as April, maybe as late as midsummer. Then after that, late fall, I think we're going up well above $5. I think $7 could be a very good target there for Cardano. But let's just start with this. Let's just start with what's in front of us, this bullish formation. If we get going and we start to break $1, move up through brand new all-time highs, $3.43. That's make sure I get my numbers here right. Yeah, it would be brand new all-time highs. Former all-time highs, $3.11, give or take. New all-time highs is the target for Cardano. But what about XRP and the XRP army? Some of you guys are in here and you guys love XRP. I see you commenting about it. What about XRP? Well, you guys know we are tracking on XRP a massive bull pennant, right? Cardano's is great, right? I don't want to downplay how great of a chart Cardano has, but let's not pretend it's anything compared to what's happening here on the XRP chart. XRP has the same type of formation playing on that macro that would send price to $11, almost $12. I've said that a lot. Let's focus on the shorter time frame stuff here. This is where we made the video where I gave you two different targets, and I don't know why my Cardano one went away, but I still have my XRP one. I must have been doing something else and deleted it. We gave two targets here. We gave this box here on 227. We have a lower potential box down here at 203, as low as 203, somewhere in the 210 range. Why? Well, because we were trading when we made the video. We hadn't had a confirmed breakout above this resistance level of the triangle, of the pennant. Well, since that video, XRP did pop up. What I love about this pop up as well, take a look at the high volume. Yes, the high volume communicates a little bit of reversal there, but also with all of these candles closing above, with all of this volume coming in as we broke above, this confirmed this resistance level. We defeated it. Bulls in control. What's even greater is this big crash that happened today, this big crash that happened this morning. Guess where we bounced? Look at where we bounced right here. We came back to a former resistance level and we turned it into support. So even when things get bad, it's still a major reversal sign that the bulls are back in control here on XRP. I love what I'm seeing here on XRP. Similar to the others, though, I want to see the buy signal start to stack up. I'm going to assume we have them here on the 1 hour and lower. Yep, green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow. It's going to be there on the 30-minute. If we load, there we go. All this green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow. Is it on the 4-hour chart, though? Let's go ahead and see here. Interesting stuff here. We don't technically have a buy signal, but that's because the reason we don't have a buy signal right now, I'm going to almost count this as a buy signal. We didn't get bearish enough to get a reason to have a strong reversal, right? We have the bullish momentum on the 4-hour chart. We have positive money flow. We just don't have a green reversal dot. Well, why? Because the oscillator, when we had this bearish divergence play out and cause a crash, the bears were so weak at their job. They were not strong enough to drive XRP down to any significant level. There's no reason to give a reversal signal. Why? Because when you really look at it, XRP is setting higher highs and higher lows. Like this low that came in this morning, unlike the rest of the crypto space, that a lot of it went lower than we've seen in months, XRP set a higher low. So this is extremely, extremely bullish right here. This is another thing to keep an eye on. Again, this long-term $11 prediction, that's not something happening anytime soon. I would say a more conservative estimate. If we're talking about, hey, where would XRP potentially be sometime in the near future? I would say keep your eyes somewhere right here in the next couple of weeks or months. Again, it could way go above this, but 362. In fact, I'm going to say 362 is a target to keep an eye on once this momentum starts. Give it a week and a half at most. And once it's confirmed, all the money's flowing back in. XRP is going to be up that spot. That's a very minimal price prediction here from a symmetrical triangle pattern. Again, the biggest one, you got to wait a lot longer for that. Probably waiting at least to the end of 2025, if not into 2026. We're looking at above $11 for XRP. Guys, I know a lot of you are concerned. I know a lot of you guys are confused, especially the dip this morning. Probably a lot of you, if you didn't sell crypto, probably heavily considered that this bull market is over and that you are going to lose a lot of money unless you sell right now. And here's the thing. I say this all the time. If you invested more than you can afford, if you've got a bill coming up, if you have expenses that you thought that your investment would make a lot more money, you took a risk, but you need to liquidate some crypto to pay some bills to survive, to not lose your house, go liquidate. Don't hold. Don't gamble your money, right? This whole channel, and we're talking about this right now as we're doing our long-term planning. We want you to know we're going to reveal a lot of stuff over the next couple of weeks about visions and missions and things we have. But I want to be very clear with you. We're the investing bros. That's a very pinnacle part of what we want to do here. There's a lot of things we want to accomplish, but we want to help you learn how to invest. The minute you invest a penny that you cannot afford to lose, you have gone from investing into gambling. We are not the gambling bros. We do not want you risking your future, your life, your children's life. We want you investing your surplus of what you are earning. If you can find a way to get another job to make some extra money, if you can find a way to budget correctly, to allocate money into crypto, great, but do not gamble. And gamble is when you invest something you cannot afford to lose. If that's not you, though, if you're sitting here saying, Tim, I'm not gambling, like technically speaking, I don't want to lose my investments, but if I lost it, I'd still be alive. What we are watching happen right now on the charts and in the news, those who can be strong and hold through the chaos and ignore the FUD and not listen to the Elizabeth Warren and the other bears out there, those are the people who are going to make a lot of money in this bull market. But again, like I said, don't listen to that and say, I'm going to go mortgage my house and invest in crypto right now. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying stay firm with your investments. They're still a long way off from being as bullish as we're going to be in this bull market. And we're seeing a lot of signs that the next big movement could be coming very, very soon. With that said, it's 3:45. Let's get into some Q&A here, T-Shroom. I don't know if you saw anything in chat. We got 1,300 people watching right now on YouTube. Smash that like button. What is our likes at currently? It's only at 314. Come on, guys. 314. We should be at least at 500, but I think more like 600 would be adequate. Let's smash that like button. It's free. It lets YouTube know that you like us. If you like us, like the button. If you don't like us and you want to make us feel really bad about ourselves, hit the like button. Don't know why you should, but you just go ahead and hit the like button. T-Shirt, what are you seeing in chat that we want to respond to here today?
Well, render I saw called out, also ENA.
Yeah.
So those are two tickers that are catching folks' interest.
Super chat from RDXRP1. It's one of our XRP guys. Have beer, guys. Okay. Thanks for the info. I see green in the footer. I do too. I see a lot of green in the footer. James says I'm in shorts.
Put beer exclamation mark in the live chat if you like beer.
If you like beer.
And you can spell it in your native tongue.
James says he's in shorts, and I'm assuming, I don't know what James is. James, are you in shorts? Are you saying like you're shorting the market? Or are you in shorts as in you're wearing shorts instead of pants? People think I'm crazy. This whole trip, like we're up here, it's like sub 30 degrees. I'm still in shorts at the moment, right? I get chilly in my upper body. You guys, I like hoodies. They're comfortable. They also keep you warm when it's cold. I'm in shorts at the moment. Not in my portfolio, but on my body.
Nice.
Because I like shorts. All right. Yeah, you said, let's go to Render. You said Render was one of the coins selected, asked about.
Yeah.
Render's my favorite AI, and that's not saying a lot because AI has not been a great portfolio hold. But let's do some Render TA here. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Well, I was going to say a lot of beer fans. A lot of fans of the fermented wheat.
Listen,
hops.
I could have told you there's a lot of beer fans. Just look at what happened when America made beer illegal. It's that's all you need to know about people's thoughts on beer. Let's take a look at what's happening here with Render. You know, it's going to be in a similar camp when we look at the daily and weekly chart stuff. A lot of bullishness. Here's what I'll say here. Keep an eye on this long-term play on Render, right? This is the bullish potential. Left shoulder, head, this big movement that's come down. We're just saying a right shoulder, right? So if this plays out the way it could, very even neckline. I love that. We won't go to the wick here. Let's go to like kind of the average where the head is. We'll be conservative here on the potential of this head and shoulders pattern. This could see Render, in the next year or so. I'm not even saying next year. Next, sometime in 2025, right? What would that increase be? This would be an increase of 358%, so 4%. This would not be my bull market top prediction, but it is a target around $31 for Render based off a very long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern to keep an eye on. That being said, let's take a look here. This coin, similar to the rest of the market, again, it actually didn't go lower than we were here not that long ago, December 20th. So you actually got to give it props for that move. It's not getting a huge bounce necessarily today, but it also, it is a bounce still. It's still, I like the high volume coming in on that reversal. You can see on the 4-hour chart, when you zoom in, I don't know, I can't tell if people can see this or not. There's a blue line across here. That's bullish divergence. And there you are, 4-hour chart. We were tracking with the other coins. Do we have buy signals? Well, I can just go ahead and tell you, it has one on the 1 hour and the 30-minute, but here on the 4-hour chart, not only do we have this bullish divergence, which is great in and of itself, green reversal, bullish momentum, and bullish money flow, right? When it gets back above that thin red line, that's positive money flow. It's part of our buy signal. You got to love that. That gives us a small target here between 738 and 766 with our smart trail right there. But the question becomes, once you get a buy signal on a lower time frame, you got to start creeping up and saying, all right, well, if I have it on the 4-hour, do I have it on, say, the 6-hour? The answer would be, we're close. The green reversals here. We already had the bullish divergence. That's a reversal signal. Green momentum. And we got to close some candles here, but that's the beginning of positive flow there. What is that trajectory? That trajectory puts us at $7.70 to over $8. All right. Even though it's not technically flashed, we're close. What about the 8-hour chart? All right. No, the 8-hour chart's not even close. Okay. So it doesn't mean the 8-hour can't catch up, right? The 8-hour, the oscillator itself is overextended. The MACD looks like it potentially wants to come crossing soon. We have a wave where we're weakening the bearishness of our MACD, but we don't have a buy signal on the 8-hour chart. We have it to take profit. We do have that massive volume with a large wick candle. These are all very positive signs. But we got to see some other things. Short term, let's stay on the 4-hour though. Let's say we're confirmed. Short term, I think if you're looking at a trade setup, if you want to know where to set up and how to set stop losses to protect yourself, that's where the VIP trading group really comes in clutch. We have hundreds of people in there who love it. People are making a lot of money, and then not only making money, but if they ever lose, they're protecting losses. If you want to be a part of that, like T-Shroom said, you can purchase Luxalco. You can check out our membership options. I will teach you guys not only, I'll only show you what I'm trading and what I'm looking at. I will also teach you guys slowly but surely how to read technical analysis. That being said, if you want to learn now, you're like, Tim, I want to learn technical analysis, join that Ultimates group right there. We are teaching the Bros Academy the basics of technical analysis and trading. You don't want to miss any of that. Shout out to you guys. Whoever asked for render, shout out to you guys. Good thing. Again, short term, $7.30. Long term, $31 in a massive inverse head and shoulders pattern. Some great stuff happening there on the chart.
Tim, before we get to the next coin here, which I believe, oh goodness, it's slipping my mind now. Oh, ENA. Before we get to ENA, there's some breaking news here. And yeah, it's from Cointelegraph. I've corroborated this with several sources. This is interesting here. Italy's largest bank, Intesa Sanpaolo, has made its first Bitcoin investment with a transaction of 11 Bitcoin, which is about €1 million, which is I don't know how that's approximately $1 million, maybe a little less. That's pretty interesting. So continued buying this from a large commercial bank, not a central bank. I don't think
it's more than 11 Bitcoin would be more than $1 million. We're trading at 90.
Right. Regardless, this information came through a leak. It doesn't look like it was an official PR statement by this commercial bank. So there could definitely be more to this story. They may not have been supposed to be doing this. There's a possibility they didn't have clearance from the regulators there. But either way, somebody's curious about Bitcoin over in Italy at a very high commercial banking level.
Very cool.
ENA. Let's check out the ENA TA.
Real quick, I got to apologize to you, T-Shroom. I had to do that math over in my head. No, you're right. I think it actually would be 11 Bitcoin now is less than $1 million. It's stupid close, right? It's coming because we're technically at 92,000 or whatever, but it's not quite $1 million. So my apologies for correcting you. You were right, as you always are, or at least usually are. Right. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at ENA USD over here. I didn't remember doing technical analysis on ENA. I did sometime. That red line, this is my TradingView account. I drew that at some point. I was highlighting to people, keep an eye on this double top potential right here. So that's something to keep an eye on there. That was a good top signal. That being said, let's see what's going on here. The daily chart, we're not quite, this is one we tracked buy signals way back here. I think it did hit, it didn't even have yet. It hit its target. It hit the red rave right there. So we lost this. This is something that's going to be a little interesting to see how this one plays out. Today's big move to downside did lose the daily smart trail, which means even when the buy signal comes in, we're going to have some strong resistance up here in the range of $1.16 for ENA. So keep that in mind. Let me zoom out here a little more because it's been a minute since I did this TA. You got I mean, you had the inverse head and shoulders way down here. You could make an argument it was like an inverse head and shoulders pattern inside of another inverse head and shoulders pattern. In which case, are you talking about, is there an even bigger inverse head and shoulders pattern right here where left shoulder, massive head, and then this pullback in play right here? Are we starting to set a little right shoulder? That would be huge, right? I'll tell you guys why I'm not going to use this here in a second. Actually, sorry, this line goes down here. I'll tell you why I'm not going to use this here in a second, but I'm going to just, some people just want to say, Tim, give me a high number prediction. Well, a high number prediction for ENA, if this played out, would be all the way up here at $7.58. For anyone who wondered if you invested right now, that would be a 840% move. I want to readdress this. ENA is a coin I think that could do that. I mean, that's not even a 10x from here. It's not a top 10 coin or anything. Like, I think it's pretty hard from here on out for top 10s. I think there's a couple that can do it, but not many top 10 coins are realistically going to do a 10x from here, right? When you start to get outside of the top 10, that's when you say, okay, we have coins that could 10x. So that's actually, I'm going to say, as much as I'm going to tell you don't follow this formation, this is a doable price prediction for ENA, right? The reason I don't like it, this is a newer coin, right? I do not like doing formation analysis on a coin that just existed. If this coin had been around for years, then sure, let's talk about this as a legitimate possibility. But the fact that this coin really just got going in April, this is more of a coincidence than it is anything to really think hard about. That being said, don't be surprised if it ends up hitting just from a different fundamental reason. But it's bad practice to use formation analysis on newer altcoins. Little tidbit,
Tim,
little education for you guys right there.
If you jump over to my screen, back December 18th of last year, of 2024, this was a headline, and I remember this one. So Trump's World Liberty project, they bought $250,000 worth of ENA.
What date is this? Sorry,
this was mid-December 2024, the 18th. So I've been looking for a pullback in ENA. It's starting to kind of get back into a range where it may make sense to pick some up.
that kind of set the top. Honestly, look at my chart. Mid-December 2024.
Yeah.
We zoom in because I realized I was zoomed out. Mid-December is right in here. So that actually ended up being bad news for ENA, but maybe not long-term bad news, but short-term it was a sell the news event.
Right. And the coins that project World Liberty Fi has picked up is pretty low at this point. It's not like they have hundreds of different coins. Ondo, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and ENA, and I feel like there had to have been a couple more, but it's among some pretty strong and potentially high flying projects. So, yep, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's a lot I could go on. I don't have an ENA yet, but I am trying to find an entry on it.
Let's finish this ENA TA, and then I was on your spot to a chat I saw. Go to my screen here, Smay. Buy signal on the 1 hour chart, the green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow. Still in effect, despite the fact that we actually went lower after that buy signal. So traders would have been wrecked right there, but that's still in effect. You got that high volume histogram with the long wick. That's a major buy signal there. We're not getting a buy signal on the 4 hour chart, even though it looks like we are. And the reason why is because we had a buy signal back here, right? Green reversal, bullish momentum, positive money flow, which is awesome. Did it hit no, it failed. It did not even hit the smart trail, but we have the beginnings of one again. Only problem is, while we have the reversal and the positive money flow, we don't have that green dot yet on the 4 hour chart for momentum. So once we get that, there's a reasonable expectation we could see ENA get up here towards 90 cents. Would be an interesting thing to look at. But again, it's not officially there just yet. And again, once that happens, I still think it's a coin. If you're saying, Tim, what's a reasonable expectation for Athena? New all-time highs. I don't think you're going to lose money on this investment. There's a reason why Trump's team invested in it, even if they did invest in it towards the top. This is one. Again, not that I don't like this formation pattern, but I don't think that a $7.53 ENA is out of equation. That being said, so I saw someone in chat here, and then we're going to do our factoid of the day. We're going to call it a day. We got more planning to do, believe it or not, guys. We want to do the show and hang out with you guys, but we have more planning to do for 2025. We're going to fill you guys in. Somebody, I lost it because the chat got buried here, but they said, isn't it hard to do, the equivalent of what they said was, isn't it hard to do technical analysis in a manipulated market? Very good question. Very good question. And I'll tell you, basic analysis, if you're just blindly following formations, if you're just blindly following oscillators by themselves, you can get really wrecked trading manipulated markets. But technical analysis is not simple, right? It's complex, and I can teach you these things. I've learned them over years. You'll learn them, and you'll get a good feeling for it. But there's ways to read technical analysis in light of manipulated markets. For example, and we're going to end with this, is how I started. Let's go back to Bitcoin, which, by the way, while we were speaking, is rallied back up above 93,000, okay? Not the point of what I'm saying, though. We had been watching on Bitcoin. Let's turn Luxago off. We love Luxago. Shout out to Luxago. Go get Luxago, the best trading indicator out there. But for this, I need to show you just the simplicity here. I told you guys last week, okay? So you guys can go back and watch the show to confirm this. I told you traditional analysis is looking at a head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Traditional analysis is looking at $90,000 area, roughly, very strong support. If we lose this level, there's a chance we drop below 80,000. These were all possibilities, but I told you, wait for a breakout below 90K to confirm. Let's get candles to close below. Let's get strong red volume that confirms the strong bearish momentum. I warned you, watch out for a quick drop below the support line, the volume to shoot up as the price goes back above support. That would be a very classic misdirection that scares retail investors, but composite man manipulators, they buy that dip. Well, guess what? I'm not a perfect technical analyst. I don't do everything perfectly. The level I told you guys to watch, that I thought that it could drop as low as it could before really being bearish, this 88,950, we got within like $50 of that level. We also spent only 5 minutes below 90,000 before we came back up. We closed no candles on any major time frame below $90,000. Classic manipulation move. But guess what? The reason I understood that was going to happen is because I understand not only traditional basic technical analysis, I understand the signals and charts to look at when you're aware that the coin you're trading or the asset you're trading is heavily manipulated. These are all things you learn when you're part of the Bros Academy. Go check it out down below. That being said, still 1,200 of you in here. Smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's show. Only 470 likes. Not even a 500 yet. Come on, guys. Smash the like button. You guys can get there. Smay, we're going to bring you on here. Now, Smay, you have a special message for the people here today as well, do you not?
Yeah, here's the deal, Tim. I'm just going to tell you right now. I think we offer a really great service, a really great community. It's called our Discord community, for our Discord members. And I'll be quite honest with you, Tim. I'm quite frankly disappointed that all these people have not taken advantage of such a wonderful and free, might I add, free resource in the description of our video. So before I get on to this factoid of the day, I'd like to let you know that you can take advantage of this. And I did not plan to do a country accent. It just came out because I had this toothpick in. I think that you guys should take advantage of that, or else you're really missing out and you're just a goober. So don't be a goober. Join the Discord.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. By the way, if you guys love the chat in here, the chat never stops over the Discord. And what he's talking about there, we have memberships, we have paid levels. If you want to get there eventually, get there. But right now, there's a free level of Discord with more access to the team. Go check out the link down below. Why are you not subscribed to it? Go get in the Discord today.
Makes no sense.
All right, man, let's get into this factoid.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the factoid of the day, brought to you by Decrypted.tax. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and read it. One of the earliest known Bitcoin price listings appeared on a forum in 2010. Approximately how much was one Bitcoin worth at that time? A, 0.003. B, 25 cents. C, 100 cents. That would be $1. Or $5. D. What do you guys think of?
Yeah, I could cheat and look at the charts, but I'm not going to. I don't think we were at $5 in a year from creation, right? I think we are still down. The question, I cannot for the life of me remember how quickly it got above $1. When I say remember, I wasn't there for it. In the analysis I've looked at, I can't remember the date it hit $1, but I don't think that was 2010.
I'm leaning
Okay,
towards
also-
C, but a little birdie that may or may not be named Crux seems to think that it's B, Bravo. So I
was
don't know.
leaning towards B. Yeah, 0.3 cents is too low. I think getting to 25 cents. And the other question is also, obviously, 2010 was a pretty volatile year. What part of 2010? I don't know. But B seems like the most likely answer. So I'm gonna rock with B. Shroom, you're comfortable with B?
I'm comfortable with B.
All right. Crux seems
this
comfortable
time.
with B as well.
B for
Let's go
Bitcoin.
B. We're locking
All
in
right.
B, Smay.
We're locking in B, and you really shouldn't have, because without further ado, it was A.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It was A. So, guys, just
okay.
take that moment
We're
to
gonna-
reflect. Just take a moment to reflect real quick. That is, we're looking at Bitcoin around the region of $100,000 as of 2024.
Crazy.
That is, or as of 2024 actually. So that's 14 years. That's pretty crazy. In 14 years, it is an absurd price. But anyways,
Okay.
Tim.
Show my screen real quick. This is how chaos of the charts, what it looks like. Look at this back in 2010. It doesn't even give me a number. It's all zeros. The first registered number, 0.0. Okay, it only gives you 1 cent the lowest. June, we didn't hit a cent. We were at 1 cent by June 10th. No, June 28th. And then we ended the year, right? So we ended the year. You got to move here a little bit. Right around, okay. All right, we're not stupid, T-Shroom. We can rest easy tonight. We ended the year around 28 cents. The highest we got in 2010 was actually 50 cents. So we could have been right. That's why I said it really depended on the year. But I will say I didn't think that it was below 1.
Well, I mean, I think the point of the question specifically was that it was this specific listing on a forum. So that was the first time it was listed.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Smay,
right,
for the
back to you.
specification.
Very cool. So if you guys love Smay, smash the like and put a heart in chat for old Smay. If you dislike Smay, write a 10-page paper and submit it to the Discord that you have to join as to every reason you do not like Smay, and he'll cry about it. Honestly,
And you can use AI.
Yes, you. Okay, but be creative. Be creative. With that said, that's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, joining the bros. Like I said, we are, even though we're at home, I'm at home, we're in Atlanta. We didn't get to go off on our trip that we were planning because of, weather conditions. So still having a blast planning and thinking through the future. And even though I'm not going to reveal a lot of the conversations we're having yet, we're not ready to tell you guys what we have planned. I'm so excited about 2025, about 2026. I'm excited about the next 10 years, 50 years, 30 years. We got some big, big plans as to what we want to accomplish. But the number one thing, one of the things we spent an hour talking about just values. I'll reveal one thing that we refused to go away from. We had a lot of things we argued about, a lot of things we said, I think this, I think this, I think this. But the one thing we were all extremely, extremely in support of is, if you're thinking about the investing bros, if you're part of this community, you're part of a group that is people first. What do I mean by that? Listen, guys, I want to make a lot of money. I want to go on vacations. I want to be able to have my family do things that they want to do. I want to leave stuff for my family and for my children. I want to help other people. You do all this with money. But at the end of the day, making money at the expense of hurting people is never going to be okay in my book. And even with this channel, we want to help you guys make money. We want to help ourselves make money. We want to see a lot of people do well, but people will always come first here at the Investing Bros. If that's something you are in line with, that you agree with, that you love about us, smash that like and hit subscribe. Go join the Discord. Be a part of this community, because that is always going to be the number one thing we are thinking about, is that people will always come first. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Adios.